All right, welcome back to more Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Now we're gonna talk about slut dragons.
Nope.
Well, did he take
And
3 hearts of damage?
yeah, he did.
Oh, you dumbass! Why'd you get hit by that guy of all the people? That's
Well, I
the
was trying
worst.
to use a different item for a little bit, but and then I remembered that's why I don't use other items.
That's kind of clever. It doesn't seem to be helpful, but it was clever. Um, so I said I was gonna talk about slut shaming in the last episode. I think this entire series just might be me saying really controversial things like slut
I
shaming
love that.
isn't that
That's how my first playthrough is gonna go.
like the idea of slut shaming. Like it's not right. You shouldn't make people feel bad for doing what they like to do. I would like to point out that murder, pedophilia. Have I hit the minute mark yet? Give me a second. There we go. Murder, pedophilia. All of those things are technically things people enjoy doing, and they aren't right by any stretch of the imagination. And those are things that you should definitely make people feel bad about. What the hell are you? Hey, I'm Kiki, the monkey Kiki. I love rupees more than anything. Can you spare me? Pow! 10 rupees? What will you do? Kiki Kiki, good choice. I will accompany you for a while. Kiki Kiki. Kiki Kiki. That monkey makes a comeback in Link's Awakening.
Sure does.
So again, like the idea of like Kiki, if you give me 100 rupees, I will open the entrance for you. Kiki, ask him to open it. Try to open it yourself. Kiki, good choice. Then I get 100 rupees of you. Kiki, that's not what it said. 100 of your rupees. Ah, you couldn't open it yourself because you had to. Just imagine not having 100 rupees, 110 rupees when you find that goddamn monkey. How annoying would that have been?
Fairly.
Oh man. So, shoot, it's annoying. Yeah, the idea of like slut shaming or whatever. Uh, I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily have a stance on it per se because I've learned that this is what makes me confusing. Is like the idea like what one. I don't think slut shaming is all that big of a deal. I don't think it's that bad of a thing. Well, like it's because you haven't been shamed for like what? I like fat chicks and I like to get peed on. Like, yeah, I like two things that are very like not normal. What? I shouldn't have said that.
I thought I could push that. I guess not.
And like so like
But what do you consider slut shaming exactly? Do you have to have sex to be a slut?
and I feel like okay when I say slut shaming, I mean you have to be you have to one be a slut. So like it's one of those things where if you're like being slut shamed, but they're wrong, and you
Like, what
still
if
take
someone calls you a slut because you just post pictures of yourself online?
well then okay well that's the issue I have with like stuff like that. There's already a word for that. It's called thirst trapping. Can you hear me? God damn it! I am locked in Turtle Rock at the top of Death Mountain. I know you are doing your best, but please hurry. My ass itches and I can't reach it. Like, you know, I feel like it's one of those things. It's like if somebody
You don't
calls you,
want to touch these things.
it's like if somebody
Like, you
calls you
can.
stupid. It's like somebody calls you dumb and you get offended by being called dumb, but you're not dumb. Why are you offended by it? Like, it really comes down to like if somebody calls you a slut and you're offended by being called a slut, then I think it really comes down to you know that you are indeed a slut. Yeah, these motherfuckers here. Yeah. Annoying as fuck. Um,
Nope. That's not what I meant to do.
and like I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's just people who are sluts are offended by it. And if you're not a slut, you're not offended by it. And given that and the thing is, I'm not saying that I'm not a slut. I would be, given the right circumstances. But I don't think I'd be offended by it. I'd be like, yeah, like I've been called worse, you know. So I don't necessarily consider it all that upsetting, like to be called a slut. But again, if you are a slut and you get called one, I feel that's when it's like more upsetting because people don't like to be called what they are. Like I live in a community. I live in a like I'm part of a subculture or a culture that you could say of people who will be offended by you calling them a liar when they are lying. So it's totally understandable to me why people are offended when they're called a slut if they're being a slut. Because let's say you have like 7 kids and they each have different fathers, you're low-key kind of a slut. And it's not necessarily like, you know, less, you know, it's not less offensive. It's equally as offensive. But it is like the idea is like to keep like if you're offended enough by it, it makes you change who you are. It's kind of like if you get called fat, goddamn. I guess if you get called fat enough, eventually you're like, I don't want to be called fat anymore. I'm going to show you. I'm not going to be fat forever. But you're always going to be an asshole. You ain't going to blow up those walls.
What, these?
Yes, yeah, those be the ones. Or is it just a trick to make you waste bombs? It is. But you won't know that until you blow up the bombs.
Pretty sure this is also pointless. Yeah, that's kind of thing.
It's just and so that so that we are clear, a slut is somebody who has a lot of like, is a female or a male. Because I think the problem is a lot of people when they hear slut shaming, they think it's exclusive to women, which I think is the main reason people are offended by it. Because women are offended by everything that exists on planet Earth. It's the idea that well, it's you're singling women out for liking sex and men like it just as much. Well, yeah, you're right, except we're like everyone doesn't do that. Personally, I don't do that. Hoes are hoes. They don't. Your gender isn't relative. If you use a hoe, use a hoe. Ain't really nothing that can be done to change that. But as a female, like I think it is one of those things where like you're expected to be less. You're expected to be less gross than the men. Because there is a need for like men and females to like be separate to a degree, because it just is what it is. I think the main reason for it is like men who like women don't like the idea of dating a woman who does very like mannish things, because it's kind of like like I personally don't like women who smoke. Like I don't like women who smoke. I don't really like females who do a lot of cut. Like I swear a lot. But I don't like females who cuss as much as I cuss. Like I'm not saying I hate the motherfuckers, but I personally just don't find them as attractive as I prefer, you know, a traditional like traditional ideals of a lady. You know, I'm not really into a lot of tattoos. It's like, well, you're gonna like shut the fuck up. It's like, yeah, like no one asked you, nutsack. It was like, I don't give a fuck. If you have a lot of tattoos, I ain't gotta fuck with you. I don't give a shit what you do. I'm never gonna meet a woman I think is just so fucking raw. And I'm gonna be like, ah, damn, if only you didn't have any tattoos. Like, no. It's like, I'm probably gonna immediately like be turned off by the fact that she's like covered in ink. Because I think it makes your skin look gross. I would have assumed you needed the claw shot for that, or the grappling hook shot. I separated the two things. Oh, hey, big ass key. Is the bridge? Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about slut shaming, since you're the millennial of all millennials? I gotta know.
I mean, I don't personally care what people do with their lives.
I don't know. I feel like if you slut shame somebody who got raped, like not the right time, but it's important that they're aware. Like I am a firm believer in situational awareness. If you
I especially don't super believe in like slut shaming sex workers necessarily, because
but they are sluts. Like you can't necessarily slut shame us. You can't slut shame somebody who's. It's like making fun of somebody who like all you do is sit around all day and play video games. Yeah, but I get paid like thousands of dollars weekly to do so. So like slut shaming a sex worker, you don't have anything else. Ah, there's the mallet. There's my Grisham. Like there's not, you know, it just is what it is. Like I'm not knocking you because like that's what you do. Because here's the thing. Most guys like sluts and hoes. We just don't want to date you. Like, yeah, it's like, but you like them with, like, yes, yes. We love a chick who is, like, gross enough to let, like, everybody in the crew, like, run through her. Of course we do. Because we're disgusting. We are, like, the filthiest of all creatures. But that's not something you want to take home. Like, how would I put this? I love seeing, like, backyard skate, I like seeing, like, skating videos. And I like watching backyard wrestling videos. I wouldn't want the shit to happen at my house.
But you have had this shit happen to your
I
house.
have had this shit happen to my house. Yes, I have. Well, not the skating, but the wrestling part. Yeah, I've had this shit happen to my house, but but I wouldn't want that as an adult. Man, you gotta leave this room. That was about to get rough. Yeah, that was about to get rough. I was like, it's basically that. It's like a lady in the streets but a freak in bed. It's like, well, that's like, no. It's you have the right to want to want or not want to date whoever. Really, one fucking arrow. You have the right to not want to be with any kind of woman you don't want to. Same with females. Like you can not want a guy because I mean, again, dudes are sluts just as much as females are. It's not exclusive to like people with vaginal openings. Like if you put your dick wherever, like if you're willing to put your dick wherever somebody will take it, you're gross. You're gross too. Mostly because STDs are extremely rampant, and just the idea of like being willing to have like free roam sex really does like it makes it seem like you're not necessarily that's bait. It makes it seem like you're not really like too concerned about your own personal health, which you know isn't necessarily the case, but that's how it comes off. What are you doing?
I was trying to see if I could hit that without having to deal with this bullshit.
It's not bullshit, it's gameplay. It's video game.
Oh.
It's video game. It's like, I realize like it comes off as like very like backwards and like the idea is like you're saying things that don't like sit next to each other on the same idea train. Like yeah, I know, but like oh my gosh, it's moving faster than I thought it would. But it comes down to like it just is what it is. Yeah, we love hoes. Let's face it, I love hoes. I just don't pay them. It's just that it's a weird concept. It's like why would you like? So if you had a daughter and she was a slut, you would like make her feel bad about being a slut? Yes. The fuck is wrong with you? Huh? Like, but that doesn't make it. You can't love your daughter if you would like make her feel bad about her sex. First off, she's my kid. The idea of my kid just out there just putting her ass in the air for any Tom, Dick, and Harry that walks. Like, no, I don't want that shit. The fuck? Why would I want that? Why would I be okay with that? Why would I be okay with my son doing that? Why would I be okay with my son just being a gross hoe? Just out there slinging dick to every bitch that wants some dick. Why would I want that in my life? I want them to be safe. I want them to be respected. And like, you can respect a slut if you want to, but use a simp if you do. Those are moles, by the way. And I thought that was an Abra for a second. Oh my gosh, I got a movie. We halfway? Well, we're a little under half. We're a little over halfway. We'll talk about it in the next episode. You should be able to do what you want to with your body, and yes, you can. But at the same time, you have to accept that people are going to have opinions of everything, and you can't choose to be offended by something. You can't choose to be offended by everything and then also have an opinion. Like that's my overall take of the whole situation. Is people have a bad tendency to have an opinion of something. Like they have an opinion of something, but then they're like, you know, how do I put it? They have an opinion. Their opinion is right, and you're not allowed to have an opinion of their opinion or anything that they enjoy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whether is it
yes.
well, not as it doesn't make sense, but it's like, is it? Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, that's just what it kind of comes down to is everybody wants to be able to have whatever it is they want. But if you have an opinion, it's yours is wrong. And like, that's one of the reasons I think people are complete garbage. So again, like, I don't necessarily, like, I understand slut shaming, but if I was to be slut shamed, I wouldn't be mad at the person who was like, "You're a slut." Like, I wouldn't be like, you know, because it's like, here's the thing, if you find the phrase slut shaming, or you find the idea of slut shaming completely wrong and rude, apply it to literally anything else, and ask yourself, am I just a pussy? Like, am I just a weak little fuckwad who can't handle, like, when people have opinions of the God? And you did not save state.
I don't need to.
Oh, you have a furry. You have two of them, actually.
Yeah.
So let's say, it's like when guys who like Xbox are called gay for liking Xbox. Do you think they get, well, yeah, the answer is yes, because they're insecure. Because most gamers are kind of insecure. But do you think they really give a shit? Like, do you think they really care that people don't like it? Or like, the idea of a man like marrying a woman who is like stereotypically unattractive. Do you think he really gives a shit? He done married her now. He don't give a damn about her being ugly. He knew what she looked like when he married her. Arrows might do more damage. Not that it matters now. That thing had to feel its ass explode before it was able to die. You got a diamond.
The mind.
Like imagine somebody coming up with a derogatory term for you because you use Duracell batteries over Energizer. Same basic principle. Link, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. This world used to be the golden land where the Triforce is hidden. But because of Ganon, the boss of thieves, wished that the world was transformed. I'm sure he's intending to conquer even the light world after building his power here. He's trying to open a larger gate between worlds near the castle using our powers. But the gate is not open, not completely. If we 7 maidens come together, we can break the barrier around Ganon's hiding place. Oh, Link, I will tell you where the other girls are held. I believe you will destroy Ganon. I will turn to my original form at that time. Until then, I will stay in this third. What? I don't get it. What's a cannon? May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. Oopsie doodle, oopsie doodle.
Oopsie doodle, oopsie doodle.
Poopski doodle, oopsie doodle, oopski. There's a K in there. You gotta get the shit right. Get it right before you get it wrong. Don't be messing up my man's words. And hit already. Oh, and connection. Oh, and that connection is doing stuff. Oh, daddy. Okay, it's all right. Or is it? No, it's not. Oh. Wait for it. I like how wait for it was met with him continuing to walk. Just so you know, the person watching this didn't throw up from Link's jittery ass movements. Oh, fuck. Imagine being sued because my video made somebody vomit. I don't know what you get. Yeah, that's how I look at slut shaming. It's like, well, if you were a slut, you're like, first off, why would I admit to being a slut? Secondly, I wouldn't have to admit to being a slut. People would know whether or not I'm a hoe or not. White people call it being a slut. Black people call it being a hoe. And like, it is what it is. Like a lot of the times, like, you might get called a slut or a hoe by one person for just being like mildly promiscuous, and it's usually because that one person likes you, and like he, in most cases, or she, I'm not reading that. He or she might want to be with you, and they hate the idea that you're out there like stooping other people. So like that fucks with their head and it makes them upset. So like you got, in a weird way, like I'm saying, don't be mad at the guy who calls you a slut because he likes you. You have to just accept that like he likes me, I don't like him, but for whatever reason, I'm still letting him talk to me. So you kind of deserve the fact, like you have to earn it. You have to accept that it is what it is. What does that mean? I don't understand the words you're using. What I'm saying is, you might not necessarily be a slut, but the fact that you're fucking other people that ain't him, he sees you as such because he just wants to be with you because he ain't learned his lesson yet. I'm mostly talking about myself at this point. Like liking people who don't want to like you back will lead to like will lead to hurt feelings. Oh my gosh, this is golly. What the fuck you want? Yo, Link, you seem to be in a heap of trouble, but this is all I can give you. You got a bottle bag from a guy. You can store turds in this. Well, that's the end of the episode. Ladies, lovelies, ladies, everybody and in between. I want y'all to know that I appreciate you for coming out. And if y'all would just like make a single file line, we can all get out of here orderly. If everybody will grab a chair, we can get this place cleaned up in no time. But yeah, that's it, y'all. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe. 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 And there you go. That's the song. Until next time, y'all. You out of here. Peace.